For the people that don't know about Main Street Murfreesboro, Murfreesboro is it a little big town or a big little? Did I say it right? What
Sounds like a country song.
I didn't know if they had like 500 people in the organization and we're number 4.
I'll give us a score.
Heck yeah, we are number 1.
Yeah. When I didn't have this job, you don't really know what's happening unless you watch your Facebook page or something. You're like, oh, a business is opening.
If y'all haven't had MTSU milk, you need to try it. It's amazing. You want to cut now? We can go eat.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know, it's always fun when we have repeat offenders on the podcast, and today we have 2 of them. So thank you all for coming back. We have Miss Sarah Callendar, who heads up the Main Street Murfreesboro, and then Alicia Stachura. Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, that's not how I say it. I say it wrong.
Oh no,
Stachura. It's the same.
Stachura.
Stachura. Okay. I got you. Well, cool. I got it. All right. And what is it you do with Main Street Murfreesboro?
I do their marketing,
Oh, the marketing.
so I help Sarah with whatever Sarah needs help with.
Okay. You're just the Renaissance woman because you do a lot of stuff.
I do.
You do.
I do.
But in this case, we're going to keep it to Main Street. So okay, we'll talk about that later. But Sarah, if you don't mind, for the people that don't know about Main Street Murfreesboro, what does it do? The organization. What's your role in it? All that.
So I am the executive director. It is a small team. It's me and an office manager, and then we contract with Alicia to do marketing. And it has been around. We're celebrating 40 years this year.
Dang, all right.
So in 1985, we were one of the first 5 cities to get a Main Street program. So it's through the National Main Street Program.
Oh, I didn't know that was a
accredited. We have to do an accreditation every year. But we're a 501c3. We have to raise all of our own money. We're not governed by anybody, but we have a board of directors that have representatives from the city and the county and the downtown community. But our focus is economic development in the historic downtown and placemaking. So that's most people know us because of the events that we do.
Yes.
And the whole purpose is to bring people downtown, to bring awareness to the downtown. So.
Awesome. If you don't mind, I want to clarify that for people because you're a 501c3. So you have, like you just said, you have to raise your own money for these events. So you're not getting, do you get city dollars or anything like that?
We get a grant fund from the city and the county.
Okay. But other than that, you got to raise your own money to pull off all these events.
100%.
Ooh, okay. Keep that in mind, folks. So, and you do a lot of events. So,
We do.
So how's it, for gearing up for 2025, are you doing anything new as compared to 2024?
Not anything big.
Okay.
No. We are, the 40th anniversary is the biggest thing that we're focusing
cool.
on.
Okay.
And so we'll be doing that in March. We always have an annual celebration event where we give awards for downtown stuff and bring in the new board members and kind of brag about all the accomplishments of downtown. But this year we're really focusing on all the people who have been a part of it from the very beginning. So back in the 80s.
Oh, dang.
So bringing them in and just acknowledging the work that they've done.
How many businesses are there?
Oh my goodness. In the downtown?
Yeah.
There's, well, in the whole, it's a 30-block radius.
Oh my goodness.
We do the business district that the city looks at. So it's 30 blocks and it really cuts out the houses. So like we have a historic downtown where people live and that's a National Register historic district. The business district itself goes like from Oakland's to, back over Bradley Academy.
Okay.
And stretches. It kind of is weird. You guys are in it. But there are almost 1,000 businesses.
Holy moly.
And they're all locally owned businesses pretty much in that business district.
I had no idea it's spanned that far. Holy cow.
Yeah.
So that must be quite the job for you to tackle then. That's a lot of businesses.
As we are growing and as more businesses, it is. But I love a challenge, and that's why I love marketing. And so I've been with Main Street since 21. And
nice.
so
Okay.
every year we're growing, and so I love it.
Nice. So who comes up with all the ideas for the events? Or is that like a group effort? Like do you...
Definitely a group effort.
Okay. I got you.
Yeah. We've carried on the event. Like the Friday Night Live concert, it's been happening for 25 years.
Yep.
The Christmas tree lighting, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's been going on since when they had like a little Charlie Brown Christmas tree in
Yeah.
front of the courthouse. So Taste of Rutherford is an event that we put on that's been happening for a
It
long
used
time.
to be called the Summer Evening.
The summer party.
Yeah.
Okay.
Summer party.
Yeah.
The
It was
summer
at
party.
somebody's house in their backyard. It was kind of exclusive. So it's big now.
Yeah. And then in 2024, we rebranded Sip Shop and Stroll to Downtown After 5.
Okay.
And so that we're carrying forward. So it's the same event, just a new name, because we bring some more. So it's just not about shopping. So now we're pulling in the restaurants and some of the new nightlife that's a part of that.
Nice. Okay.
And we've come up with ideas like, well, I stole this idea from Ripley in West Tennessee.
Yeah.
They had scarecrows downtown. So we started doing scarecrows like 4 years ago, maybe. And that's grown. How many scarecrows did we have this year?
Oh, I think we had over 30 this year.
Oh, my goodness.
So-
Yeah, it was
and
a lot.
That's community partners making a scarecrow
Very
and bringing
cool.
it downtown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
And
like
it doesn't
that.
cost the community anything. I mean, other than their materials, but like we don't charge a fee. It's just something fun for the community to get involved in. Like, so we're not making money off of it. We don't pull sponsors for it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just something we do to give back.
That's fun. I like it. I always love the Halloween stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
the
that one's
trick or
fun.
treat.
Yes, because it's
Yeah.
so fun. There's nothing better than seeing little kids' faces light up when you
Yes.
get candy. And I'd always love that one. I'm always down there taking pictures and stuff.
Our businesses are really good about playing into that as well because this year we had a business that did Belle and Snow White and like all the Disney characters,
yeah?
but like the professional, like this wasn't your party
Yeah.
city costume. This was someone went out and actually, and so just seeing the
Nice.
kids' faces on that. We had dancing chickens.
We did
and
have some dancing chickens
Dancing
in the street.
chickens?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
There were like 12 of them. There were a lot, like in the
No
blow up
way.
chicken outfits.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
That was
and they were
one
dancing.
business, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
They
that
all
was
their-
one business. So.
I gotta ask, who did the one? I saw the video and it went crazy on Facebook. But they did the blow up dinosaurs and they were like chasing each other through the square.
Yes, I don't know who did that, but yes,
It
I've
was
seen
funny.
it.
Yeah, I was like, good job, whoever that was.
Yeah.
So, whoever that business was, comment something. I want to
Yeah.
see who that was because that was funny. They did a good job with that. But awesome. So starting off 2025, we're fresh new year. So, what's the first big event you got coming up?
The 40th anniversary.
Oh, that is the next one.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that's
okay.
in March.
Okay, gotcha.
And it'll be a small entry fee, like $10 to
Yeah.
help us cover food.
Oh, yeah.
And it's at the Walnut House. What day is it? Do you have that written down?
It's on March 4th, I'm pretty sure.
you go.
Don't quote me on it, but I think
Okay.
it's March 4th.
See, you got to memorize. Mark
Yeah,
it. You got-
Yeah.
Okay. And so that's going to be like an after hours,
Okay.
drinks and appetizers. And then we're giving the design award to 2 businesses who've renovated their building in the historic district.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to announce who they are yet, but so they had to apply and be judged by the
Yeah.
design committee. So we always
Very
want to
cool.
make sure we acknowledge property owners when
Yeah.
they put money into renovating
Oh, yeah,
a
for
building
sure.
that was nothing before. And then we're acknowledging all the businesses who are celebrating an anniversary of 20 years or more, which
Oh,
there's
nice.
like
Let's see, there's quite a few
at
in
least
there.
30 or 40
Oh, my gosh.
businesses that have been around for
Yeah.
over 20 years.
Dang. Okay.
Some
So-
for 100.
Well, yeah, a lot.
Yeah, Pastime has been there. Holden's Hardware, City Cafe.
No way. That long?
Firestone Tire.
Oh, yes, yes.
I was talking to them 1928 when they opened.
Yeah.
I was
No
like,
way. Really?
my gosh.
Yes.
I'm about to go take a picture over there. And post
Yeah.
that. 1928?
Well, I don't know if that's the original building.
Yeah, but still,
yeah,
that's awesome.
I
So
can
we,
probably, because we've been going through old history with this
Yeah, yeah.
40th anniversary. So I've seen more old pictures than I know what to do with. And we're trying to categorize them and like which ones are important, which ones will the public recognize.
Yeah, right.
And so I bet I can pull some on that one because I have some of old, I have the Ford. I do. I just saw it. I bet I have it. I'll send it to you.
Okay, heck yeah. I will
Yeah,
post that.
it was really
I know Shacklet, I remember, he always had a huge store of pictures.
Yes.
I mean,
they're
oh my-
mostly his pictures.
Oh,
yeah.
I gotcha.
He donated them to the Rutherford Archives.
very cool.
So we've been working with
Hey,
them to
good
get the
job,
pictures.
Shacklet.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
awesome. Now, I got to ask, since you've seen so many pictures and you've been doing this for a while, how much has it really changed? I mean, that's you've had to have seen quite an amazing transformation.
Dramatically.
Yeah.
Well, that was part of the Main Street movement. So
Yeah.
bringing it back to in 1985, the whole reason the city wanted to have the Main Street program was because the downtown, it was during when the malls were opening up and so businesses were closing. There
Yeah.
were so many vacant buildings and it wasn't a safe place downtown as far as like sidewalks,
Okay.
electric lines. It was
Okay.
ugly.
I got you.
There weren't good parking. There's pictures of the sidewalks compared to the street where if you had a disability, you could not get
Oh,
around.
no, really? Yeah.
So in the 80s, with the Main Street movement, the very first thing they did was get all the businesses to agree to let the streets be shut down, and they completely renovated the sidewalks and the streets.
Nice.
The inner circle of the courthouse was the first thing to get renovated, so
Okay.
they have parking. So it was more of a physical change that happened in the 80s.
Okay.
So that has changed a lot. There's some buildings that still look the same.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got to ask. There has been, we've done a lot with the businesses downtown too and different things, but like, let's say Fire Barbecue, the Korean barbecue place, going in there and they took me in the basement and everything, but hearing the stories about the stuff that happened in the basement, things like that. And you're like, there's got to be a million stories.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I can only imagine. Like, I got to share a good one if you got a good one. Like,
Well, Al Capone, like he used to
already starting
come.
off.
Yeah.
Really?
Where Vita's is, that used to be a hotel.
Okay.
So everybody thinks about the Palace. No, what was the hotel? The Polk Hotel. Everybody thinks about that, and we have all these pictures. But there was another hotel where Vita's flower shop is,
Okay.
and L&L. Like that whole
Yep,
building
yep,
was
right,
a
right.
hotel.
Yeah.
And they said Al Capone would stop on his way, and I don't know what he was
No
doing,
way.
but yeah, I mean, there's some crazy things like that.
Because if you think about it, Murfreesboro was the capital at one time. So
Yeah,
just think
yeah.
about, like, we were the spot to be at one time, and fast forward. And so I think we were a hot spot.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you just think about all the battles and stuff that have even, you go back to pre-Civil War and
Yeah.
I mean, some probably really ugly stories, but just a lot of history of this was it. And I mean, when you look at those pictures and you see like dirt roads and wagons and you hear
Horses are parked
stories,
outside of
Yeah.
stores.
people had to come to the public square to do everything
Yeah.
to buy their flour and their,
Yeah.
to make
The
trades,
beauty
and
shop,
business.
and there was lots of men's clothing stores, because you think of it back then,
Okay.
you didn't wear your pajamas to the grocery store. You were very dressed when you went out in public. I just feel like today at the grocery
What's
store.
wrong with that? No.
And so there were a lot of men's and women's, the Goldstein shopping center. There were several, because I just recently looked at those, because where the county buildings are, that used to be all three sections used to be a prominent clothing store.
Okay. Very cool.
And it was here for many, many years. And so that's one of the original, there's a lot of original buildings, but that's one where the face of it hasn't changed a lot. And
man.
so
That's
And
neat.
lots of immigrants. I mean, when I was looking
Yeah.
at those pictures and then you start finding out who the families were, I mean, Murfreesboro, since it was the capital, there were Italian immigrants
Yeah.
and people from all over that would come and they would be entrepreneurs and start a business on the square. It's like, that's really
That's
cool.
neat.
There was a lot of, not a lot of diversity, but we just celebrated the Mink Slide and the Black Business District that used to be along Maple Street, like where Sugary's, Funtiques, The Right
Yep,
Impression,
Yep.
all of that was Black business owned buildings.
Very cool.
And so we put a plaque with the African American Historical
Oh, that's
Society up there on one of the buildings to just acknowledge.
Yeah.
Because where City Hall was, that was where a lot of Black-owned businesses were and some housing was.
Yeah,
And then
I
they
gotcha.
got rid of all that.
What was it? I think it was one of Shacklett's photos. I think when I was over there one time. Anyways, it was like you said, it was horse and buggy, but it was dirt roads, and all I remember seeing was the main building, the court, the courthouse, and then trying to remember what was the first building outside of that.
Oh, gosh, I don't know.
I wouldn't know outside
'cause
of the courthouse. Probably where the Center for the Arts is.
Okay.
I know that goes back where it was a post office, and it was also where you could rent horse and buggy. At one time, it was like
It was a
stable. It was a
stable.
stable. So if I had to guess, that would.
That's
and I'm
cool.
totally guessing. I'm not the
Yeah.
historian. But just from the pictures, from what I've seen recently, that we see it as a center for the arts. But you're like, that used to be a stable.
I know, right? That's what I was just thinking. I was like, really?
Yeah.
That's cool. I'm never going to look at that the same now. I'm going to be like, there used to be horse and carriage right here. That's cool.
I'll talk about stories. The Center for the Arts building, because it was the post office first, then the first library for Murfreesboro or Rutherford
Okay,
County,
yeah.
and then the Center for the Arts. I've heard Regina, who's the director there, talk about they have hidden staircases in the walls that have been covered up. And
No
then
way.
when they were renovating some things, they were like, there's a whole staircase. Because it was a post office, they had secret passages.
Oh, whoa.
And they would have people from the federal post office, whatever, come and spy to make sure that they were following the rules and not stealing
way.
things. So they would have people come and watch the workers to make sure they were following. It's crazy stuff in that
It's
building.
like that picture on the wall with the eyes moves.
Yeah.
We've actually asked the community right now, if you have a good story or pictures, to send them in to us. There's a
Okay.
form for that on our website. Because like these stories, like Regina's story, these are good stories. We could, what
Yeah.
happened, the history. And so we've asked the community to tell us those, and we want to share the ones that we can.
Are you archiving all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay, very cool.
It's on the website.
Yeah.
Alicia's done a great job of creating a space to showcase those stories.
Nice. Okay. Well, we'll have to make some more posts for that too, because I want to learn more now.
Yeah.
The more we've dove into stuff and hear, like some of it's fascinating. I love the stories. So, like the Korean place, I want to get back under there.
Yeah.
He said we could go under there, and he'd let us go all the way back corner and like shut off the lights like they used to. I was like, oh, no, that'd be kind of scary.
Yeah. And under the Whiskey Dick's, that building, because
Yeah, yeah.
it used to be the coin buildings, what they called it, was a bank. It was one of the first, I don't know what the bank's name was. It was a credit union. So that whole building, there is a basement with a tunnel that goes to the courthouse or something. So,
No way.
Yeah. I've never been in it, but I have heard
How big's the
Bill
tunnel?
Jakes has talked about that.
That'd be fun to get.
I don't know, but that's creepy.
Yeah. So I'm not necessarily claustrophobic, but like if I get stuck,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
if it's a small tunnel, I'll stay away. But
No,
if
I think it's a walking tunnel because people.
it's a walking
Yeah,
tunnel?
people
Oh, I'd be fine
would
then.
walk
Okay.
down around.
That'd be
under.
cool.
Isn't that?
Can we do a video there? That'd be.
So
Call Whiskey Dick's and ask.
yeah, between that and the courthouse. But if you think about it, because the courthouse from the battles, it could have been also like a bunker area of,
Oh, totally.
of
Yeah, yeah.
transportation.
That's
so
true.
all kinds of reasons
Oh,
why it
that'd
could
be
be there.
cool. I wonder if there's like stuff on the wall. You ever like stuff like that? You hear like people put their names on
Yeah.
the walls.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool to.
Like Egyptian
You give me all kinds
graffiti.
of ideas, man. This
Yeah.
is neat. Yeah, right. Something. Is that why the Whiskey Dicks they have that big vault, the door in the back? Have you seen
Yes.
that?
That was there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, because that's a huge.
Well, because it used to be a bank.
Yeah, so that's I just saw
Yeah.
it once when they were under construction forever ago, but makes sense now. Okay, very cool. But awesome. Well, I'm gonna switch gears. I have
Okay.
one. I'm just curious. You sparked my interest earlier. I didn't know that Main Street Murfreesboro is part of a national thing. So, do they have like rankings on the squares? I'm just curious. Like, how do we rank? Like,
No, we either pass or fail.
oh, is that it? Okay, all right. I didn't know if they
Yeah.
had like 500 people in the organization and we're number 4 or
Oh,
something.
that would be cool. It's hard to compare downtowns. I'll give us a score.
Heck yeah, we are number 1.
Yeah. No, we are very fortunate to have an actual square with a historic courthouse.
Yeah.
And a lot of you travel around Tennessee, there's a lot of downtowns, but they don't have that center point.
Yep.
And so that we're very fortunate to have kept our courthouse.
Yeah.
So I will rank us number 1.
That's right.
The national organization does give out awards for different things. But I mean, so each city is a different size. So it's kind of hard the scale kind of has to move, because if you're
Makes sense.
20,000 people versus someone who has a large city, we're 30 blocks, it's not apples to apples.
Yeah,
And so,
makes total sense. Yeah, okay. I was just curious. That was,
A little competitive. huh?
yeah.
Me? No. Never played sports, never nothing. But anyway, so, well, I'm curious as to y'all's opinion on one thing too, with the, obviously, a lot of changes coming to Murfreesboro, things happening, and there's quite a large one that's happening right next to the square. What do you think about that Keystone project? How do you feel about that?
Main Street has been supportive of that project. We've had myself and board members have spoken before City Council and the county commissioners to encourage them with the TIFT to support this group. We're all for revitalization and growth and development. But we also support historic preservation. So when it comes to a historic building, you know, I'm not for tearing it down or changing the facade of it, but for growth to happen, especially in a city our size, I think it's so smart to look at the outside of the downtown areas and where there's space that can be developed. This is a great project because number one, it brings housing, which is something that we do not have and something that we're lacking in our country. So to have apartments and condos and hopefully if it works out to have that boutique hotel, that's going to bring walkability. It's going to have people walking around that then will go to the restaurants that will support the stores. And that's what we want. So
Yeah, because technically it's on the other side of the square. So, I mean, the square won't really be touched per se, right?
No.
So, okay. Very cool. Yeah, because we get a lot of people write in asking questions about it. And I think that's supposed to start soon, isn't it? Or,
it should.
okay. I got
Well,
you.
they're working on the daylighting of the town creek. And that's all going to be a part. I mean, that's a separate project.
Yes.
But the whole goal with the city is that when this development gets started, the city will work to have a pedestrian bridge that goes from where the condo apartment section is. And also, it provides new space for businesses. So it's a mixed-use property. We have so many entrepreneurs who reach out and are looking for space downtown, and there just isn't. And so this is creating space that businesses can come and have their business downtown. But then the walking bridge to go over Broad and connect that daylighting of that town creek from the Discovery Center to Cannonsburg and have green space. I mean, that's something we're lacking downtown. So it's just a beautiful project to me.
It looks beautiful from the renderings I've seen and everything. I was like, well, I'm going to run with this one and see how it looks. It looks really neat, but I'm convinced there's a lot of people, once you said that, like the retail space, I've met so many of the businesses that are over there in the Painted Tree, you know where that's at?
Oh, yeah.
That are growing out of that and they don't have anywhere to go. And I was like, there would be so many of them that would have great spots.
And those
right
are
there.
locally owned businesses as well. And we have people that reach out that want to be part of that small town feel community. Because even though if you build the condo, we're still locally owned businesses and they just want to be part of that.
Yeah, that's cool. I love that.
If they're listening, I hope that they make sure that they allow that space for the smaller businesses and don't just do like office space and
gotcha.
things like that, because it really helps when you have some retail mixed and some locally owned businesses that bring people for that walking traffic and not just like lawyers' offices. That's the one thing about our square that I think would make us rank a little bit lower is that we have so many law offices on the first floor of those buildings that when somebody comes from another city and they walk around, we don't have a ton of retail because there's just not a lot of space. You know, we've got a lot of hair salons, which is great. But, you know, when you think about visiting a city, what do you want to do? You want to walk in a bunch of different stores and you want to do experiences. And we're great with the eating and the dining. My goodness, we're blowing up.
I call us the coffee capital.
Yeah,
We have so many coffee shops that people just don't know about. That are open early in the mornings for when you want to swing by. And you can park at early. I mean, so people say parking, but we have parking garages that we're trying to help promote more of.
Okay.
Especially for our events. People are like, well, where do we park? And we're like, well, we have options.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make sure to post that too.
Yeah.
That's cool. I know that's one thing I love about our office here. We 2 blocks that way, and we got Brass Horn.
Yeah.
You got Joni's. You got all kinds of people
Yeah.
elsewhere. So, but I love it. We just walk. Not today. It's freezing cold.
Yeah,
but-
don't walk today.
yeah, other days, but awesome. But so I'm going to jump forward a little bit, but where do you see the square going? You've been doing this a while. You said it's been 40 years. 40 years from now, what do you see?
The really cool thing about my job is that I get to meet people.
Oh, yeah.
And I have met so many we were talking earlier about investors and developers. There are so many people that have a vision for something. And so when I didn't have this job, you don't really know what's happening unless you watch your Facebook page or something,
Thank
and
you.
you're like,
Appreciate
oh, a
that.
business is opening. But there are so many things in the works for not just that Keystone project, but once that actually takes place, everybody is waiting.
Yeah.
And there are at least 2 other developments. Plus, we've got that One East College project in the back pocket, that's got potential in the future. So in 40 years, I see the downtown still that quaint square, but I see the downtown vibrant and people walking and living, and there's lots more businesses.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's where I see it.
I love that. That's all. And please don't ever move the farmers market.
I know.
I love
As long as
farmers
the
market.
county mayor doesn't make us, then
No,
we won't.
no, that thing is awesome. I
Yeah.
mean, you would not believe the amount of messages around that time when the first one's going to start. We'll get, I'm not joking, hundreds of messages. And oh, is it still? It's never stopped. Yes, it's still going. When is it? I'm like, here's the website.
Yeah.
Go there. Like people love that farmers market. So
Yes.
That's a neat business incubator space. If you think about, there has been so many businesses or people that had an idea, came to the farmers market, threw their idea out, started, being a vendor for a couple of years, and then they moved into a brick and mortar space and they grew their business.
Yeah.
And so that's the whole incubator space idea. That we're growing the economic vibrancy of our downtown.
Yeah.
And then just the farmers. I mean, we're supporting the people who I feel like our country, needs to not forget that they have an opportunity to sell their produce and, you can eat healthy. So and it's a placemaking. I mean, it brings people downtown. They have an activity to do with their kids and their friends.
And was it? I mainly remember last year, but you had MTSU milk there.
Yes.
I was like, oh, thank you.
They used to always come, and then they had somebody retired.
Oh, is that what it was?
That's
Okay.
what happened. And so they completely had to hire a new person, and they
Gotcha.
got behind in their milk, and they just weren't able to come every Saturday.
Yeah.
That's a big commitment for them
Oh,
as
for sure.
a faculty and students to come. But
Oh, yeah. But that is, it's MTSU milk.
I know.
What is it about their milk? I don't know.
If you follow the Murfreesboro Saturday Market Facebook page,
Okay.
she announces when they are coming.
Okay.
So it's not like a surprise. Why didn't someone tell me? If
Okay.
they are coming, she announces it.
Okay.
Our market manager is phenomenal at getting out some people
Okay.
like that, special vendors.
Nice.
Yeah. But
And
what's in it? What's in it?
Oh, I just
probably.
yeah, it's so much. Their milk,
It's just organic milk, but everyone's crazy
is that what it
about
is?
it. I mean, I would assume, right, from the
Well, the chocolate milk.
Well,
I'm
The
sure.
chocolate
Yeah.
milk. Oh,
just
yeah.
sugar.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, there's something about their milk. I
It's
when I
good.
remember when I moved here years ago, and somebody brought it, I'm like, it's milk. Who cares? Whatever. And then I finally tried it, and I was like, what is this? Like,
Yeah.
if y'all haven't had MTSU milk, you need to try it. It's amazing. So.
And a lot of businesses downtown carry it. I know Simply Pure has their milk.
And I think Bart's
I
Kitchen
was
just
wondering if
recently
Bart's
started
did.
carrying
Okay.
it.
Oh, Simply
Yeah.
Pure Sweets with the milk with
They have a
lemon.
little
Oh,
fridge that
cinnamon
you
roll.
can get it.
Yeah.
You want to cut now? We can go eat.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cool. But then one thing, sorry, I keep going on about the farmer's market. I love
Yeah.
I love how it changes as the season goes, as it goes on. And I still remember to this day, I never forgot. There was one lady had a big flatbed trailer on the backside of the courthouse, but had the biggest pumpkins.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking huge. And like, we were trying to get a picture of me picking one up, and I couldn't do it. It was so big. I don't know how.
I don't know how she got it loaded.
Exactly. That's the other part.
Yeah.
Yeah, on this flatbed. I'm telling you, this thing was like this big, but
Yeah.
kudos to that. I've never seen her since, but kudos to that lady. Woo, those are some huge pumpkins.
funny.
But so, anyways, okay. So I'm going to sorry, I jump around sometimes with these, but I'm going to back up. So we've got the 40-year celebration. And then what's next? What kind of events we got coming can we expect this year?
Downtown After 5 is on March 14th.
Okay.
So we do 4 of those a year.
Gotcha.
And then our Saturday market opens on the first Saturday of May.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's May 3rd.
All right. We are clipping that
yeah.
right there and post. Okay. May 3rd, folks.
And then our Friday Night Lives kick off on June 13th.
Nice. Okay.
And they're not the first Friday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
People sometimes think that, and they call them Friday Night Lights.
yeah,
I think
because
it's
for football, I think
Football, yeah, I think
it's Friday
yeah.
Night Live.
our full calendar will come out on February the 1st.
Okay, cool.
Is when we will release all of the Friday Night Live band
Yeah.
names and dates
Nice.
and all the fun things.
I got you.
But then Trick or Treat on the Square
Yep.
is always on October the
Yeah,
31st.
that's always a fun one.
Yeah.
Love that.
Christmas tree lighting is always the first Friday in
Okay.
December, so it's December 5th.
Okay. That is a big show y'all do for the
Yeah.
Christmas tree lighting. How long does that take to plan that out? 'Cause that's quite a show.
We had about to start again.
We had a committee lunch this week.
Yeah.
Doing a recap of the event and then what we want to plan for this year. So we've got to get like the schools booked and
Yeah.
so that they know if they're performing. And I have to have Santa. I have to call the North Pole and
Right.
make sure he can come.
Make sure you can come. That's
Yeah,
right. He's a
so-
busy man, so you got to be out
And
there.
then our safety, our police force is we always have to applaud them and make sure that they're and the city
Oh, yeah.
knows, because that in itself is a huge thing.
Is
Okay.
huge.
Nice. And just for last year's anyway, shout out to the sponsors that helped with that one, because there's a lot of very giving people that helped out
Yes.
with that when you had them up on the screen.
That's what makes
yeah.
that event.
Yeah.
We really changed it when I took the job 5 years ago. We started focusing on bringing the sponsors into the event.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I'm like, can you please give us money? And I need you to come and
Yeah.
provide a free activity.
That's
And
it.
they love it. All of our sponsors come back every year. It's their favorite event. So like Pinnacle, they
Yep.
bring their 20 by 20 tent. I don't know how many employees they bring. And they made 1,000 cups of hot chocolate
that's
that
right,
they
the hot
gave
chocolate.
away.
Thank you. I had like
Yes.
5 of them.
I mean, y'all, we had a whole meeting just about how to make the hot chocolate, and because it is an ordeal to make that much hot
Yeah.
chocolate
That's a
for
lot
that
of
many
hot chocolate,
people in
yeah.
an hour and a half. But this year we incorporated nonprofits. So if you're a nonprofit and you want to come to Christmas tree lighting,
Yeah.
doesn't
You have
cost
an
you
activity.
anything.
Yeah.
It's a great way to promote yourself and provide an activity. So that's what's fun about that event, because people might not want to just stand there and watch kids sing for an hour, but you can walk around and do free activities and see live reindeer and have carriage rides. So we try to
Yeah,
keep
the
everything
carriage
free.
No, kudos to the ones because I remember it got a little cold. last
This year
year.
was cold.
freezing.
We were up there filming and stuff. I was
Yeah.
like, man, it is cold. But those kids were up there dancing and tap dancing, doing their thing. I was
Yeah.
like, how are they still moving? My goodness, I'd be frozen solid.
Yeah.
So kudos to them. That was pretty
That
neat.
lady with the Center for the Arts, when they did the White Christmas and she didn't have anything on her shoulders, I was just like,
Oh,
oh my gosh,
right.
somebody put a sweater on.
Yeah.
There was, oh gosh, what school was it? There was one little girl in the front when they brought up all the little kids. Oh man, I wish I could remember this. I'm so sorry. Anyway, she was so vibrant and so into it and was getting all. I was like, man, she stole the show. I wish I had that clip on. Anyways, it's a good time.
Yes.
Good time.
Well, I mean, and that's why people come, because even if you don't have kids, you just want to come and enjoy the show. It's a great time for
Oh
everyone.
yeah, yeah, definitely. a good
Making a
time.
memory.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's definitely. Jen and I were just talking about that. The older we get, like we don't want to like do presents or anything. We just want to go create memories.
Experiences.
Let's just go do things. So stuff like when we saw
Yeah.
you up there, we're like, that's just us having fun.
Yeah.
But-
Thank you for coming to that, by the
Oh
way.
yeah, that's fun. It is a lot of fun, and we enjoy it a lot. So thanks for letting us come out.
Yeah. And if you want to watch it, the Rutherford County TV, they put the whole video together and
Okay.
it's on YouTube.
Nice.
So we have it on our website and you can watch the whole thing.
Is that Michael Lynn White? Is she-
So she's city.
oh, she's. I'm sorry, I had her confused. My
Yeah,
fault. Okay.
but the county does the Christmas tree lighting. So they film it live and it's on a screen.
Yeah.
So if you're standing further back, you can still watch it,
Yeah.
but then they record it and put it together.
Very cool. Okay. Now, again, I'm switching gears again.
Yeah.
So, because you had said something a little earlier. Now, with what we do, for example, there are projects and things that are going on that we hear about, but we get sworn to secrecy on, like Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
Couldn't say anything for a year on that one. That one drove me nuts. But is there anything coming to the square that you can talk about that we can't? Maybe
Oh, well,
put you on the spot.
there are plans. it's not secret, but
Yeah.
like the Bank of America building was
Yes.
purchased by an individual.
Yep.
And I know they purchased the Truist building. So they're waiting for the Keystone project to take place. And then the idea is to create another mixed use property right there
Okay.
and the corner of Shacklett's. So that whole area, the Bank of America would be torn down, and
Okay.
that would be apartments, condos,
Okay.
a boutique hotel. That's the goal for
Okay.
that space. So, I mean, just think about what that would look like,
Yeah.
coming in. I know that there's, with the city, we've had meetings with MTSU, and a long-term goal is to create a bike lane.
Okay.
I forgot the technical street term for it, but from where MTSU on Lytle Street.
Yep.
So like your street where the roundabout is.
Yep.
So, there's a bike lane, and then it stops, and you go through the back of Central Magnet and Campus School, and then
Yep.
it hits where MTSU is. So the goal would be to make that a one-lane road, and then have another one-lane road.
Okay.
So you're driving from MTSU to the square, and a section of the road is for pedestrians and bike lanes.
Okay.
So that you find that, like in Nashville, they've been turning some of their roads into one lane, and then they have the bike lane in
Gotcha.
it.
Yep,
So
yep.
that's the goal. We're really trying to connect MTSU with the downtown.
Okay.
And to make it more of a bike friendly. So I love that idea. Yeah.
I got you. Well, MTSU is in the whole old hospital to some extent, right? And don't they have some offices in there?
Yes,
I don't know if they're working their way.
That land, I mean, that's something
Oh, that land. Yeah, that's
they
right.
own that land that's fenced off. And I mean,
That's why nothing's happened to it.
yeah, we've asked them about that. Like, it would be really cool if they would allow that space to just be a temporary park or something for the
Yep.
community, but it's roped off right now.
Yeah. I drive by that every day. That's the way I come in
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
to
It
get
makes
here.
me sad.
I know. I was like, that'd be such a good park
Yeah,
or something,
it would
especially
be.
right by the school and everything right there.
Yeah.
You know, but MTSU, you hear us?
There you
I
go.
got
It
you.
wouldn't cost a lot to turn into a park. It's
Right?
already
Yeah,
yeah.
just to have that green space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dang. Okay. Cool. Well,
I know there's, I've heard the county mayor talk about the idea of the library where
Oh,
it
okay.
is,
Yep.
and moving that. I would hate to move the library, but that's just my opinion, because
Yeah.
I think that's great to have that downtown. But I know that there's all kinds of discussions with the homeless issue downtown, and how do you handle that and provide safe places for those people to sleep and eat. But but looking at that civic plaza and the library and county buildings, they are looking at the building you were talking about, the Goldstein building. That's owned by the county, and it's all county offices, but the building's in awful shape inside. So the county mayor is talking about moving those offices over to the library
Yeah.
and having that shared space
Gotcha.
and doing something else with that building. So I think because so many of the properties are owned by the county, there is a lot of potential for moving things around and
okay.
Yeah.
Do you think anything's going to come of is it the one East College, I get that one.
The one East
There you go.
College,
Sorry.
yeah.
Words are hard today. Apparently.
Yeah.
Sorry. But
So I've heard Shane talk about
Yeah.
on WGNS, it seems like they're saying the same thing repetitively, that they're trying to take it back by eminent domain, and then turn it, which the only way I think they would be able to do that is then it has to be proven that you need that space.
Yeah, I gotcha.
And so they would turn it into a temporary parking lot. And I don't know if the law is 5 years or what, that you would have to keep it like that, and then resell it to a developer who would actually do something
Okay.
with the property.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounded like that whole thing was a mixture of unfortunate timing and then just kind of a big mess with
Yeah.
with COVID and everything
Yeah.
and all that stuff. But
Lots of lessons learned. I mean, the city council keeps saying that, like they learned from that experience,
Yeah.
and so they're handling the Keystone project differently,
Yep.
and they're just being more cautious.
yeah, I gotcha. Well, we get a lot of people that watch the show and tune in and question that are looking to move here or come into the area, visits, that sort of stuff. They got a lot of family here. So for those watching and listening, what would you say to them about the downtown? Get them to, there's a lot more to Murfreesboro than when people think of, the Avenue or Clary Park, whatever, in downtown. So throughout your elevator speech, I want to hear
Yeah,
that.
I'll give mine and then you can give yours.
Oh, let's hear it.
So I have met so many people who've moved here and they come to an experience. So the farmer's market, you're like, hey, how'd you hear about it? Oh, we just moved here. Somebody told us there's a farmer's market and we've never been to the downtown. So I would say come to an event like the farmer's market, like a Friday Night Live concert, and walk around. You got to walk around and just go in the stores. And every one of our stores, well, not every one of them, the majority of them, you're going to see the owner when you walk in. And they're going to say, hey, I've never seen you in my store before. What's your name? Which can be a little intimidating if you're maybe from a big city. But people want to know who you are. And then you get to know the people who own the businesses and you make new friends. And it's an experience. That's what I would say.
Yes, and when you walk into even a restaurant or a small business and they know your name, but then you need something, now you have an ally. Like, I'm looking for something. Well, like, okay, well, I don't have it, but 2 doors down, I know they do. Or they know so. And so you just start to build this relationship that you can't in a big city. Or if you walk into a big box store, you're just a number. But here, you're purchasing something that they can pay their bills, they can pay their employees. And so it's not just the relationship piece, it's your money stays within the economy. So
I do admit I love that. Like Joni's, for example, we go over there and Mr. Day comes out and he's like, hey guys, how's it going? And you just sit down with us and talk with us and everything. But there's the owner. He's mingling with you and he goes around and he greets everybody. That is definitely, I love that.
That is neat.
And if you're a ball team or something like that and you go in, you're like, hey, we have this thing coming up. Do you want to sponsor or will you bring coffee? I mean, something like that. And so you just start to build these relationships that are forever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And it's not someone writing a check on paper. Like, there is this relationship and we are human and we need that. I think we learned that with COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
And am I saying this right? Murfreesboro is it a little big town or big little? Did I say it right? What are
Sounds
those
like
two?
a country song.
Right, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean, even though we're growing, it's still got that core feel. So, like you said, you come out, hey, it's me. That sort of thing. So.
You come to I love the Friday Night Live concerts. You put your chair down and you're going to have people sitting on either side of you of all different ages, of all different ethnicities and demographics. And once that music starts, I like to chair dance. So, I have started up so many conversations with, a woman in her 70s who's sitting next to me who I don't know from Adam. And then we're just dancing to Prince. And the next thing I know, I'm like, oh, where are you from? And that is community to me.
Yeah.
So you talk about Murfreesboro is so big when you're driving around and you're complaining about the traffic and all the people. But then you come to something that makes it smaller. And then you realize, but it's about the people and the community and,
Oh, yeah.
Which is one of our mission statement for Main Street is we want to be the heart of the community. And so that's what we strive to be.
Nice. All right, cool. I love it. Well, dang. Well, I appreciate y'all coming on and sharing this. And see, I told you time goes by fast. So I don't want to hold y'all up. I know you got things to do. But in closing out, before we end, is there anything you want to say to anybody watching, listening about the square that you haven't said already? Get them out there.
Well, I will say make it a goal to visit a new place. Like if you always go to the same store or the same restaurant, just try something new and experience something new downtown this year. And also, if you want to get involved, we get calls all the time from people, mostly a lot of people that move here, and they say, we don't know anybody, we want to get involved with the community. We have so many opportunities to volunteer. So the whole Main Street program has an economic development focus, and it has a design focus. So if you want to serve on a committee, it's like sometimes 4 meetings a year, but we actually use you to come up with ideas for our strategic plan of what we're focusing on. All of the work we do is because of volunteers that serve on our committees or that come to events and volunteer at the Christmas tree lighting. We have like 20 people on that committee that just, they love Christmas, and so they volunteer at that event.
And Friday Night Live, you can volunteer for that, picking up trash, making, cleaning up before and after, because typically for Friday Night Live, what's the Saturday morning is the market. And so we have to flip the square pretty quickly on those weekends.
I never thought of that. Holy cow. And those farmers get out there early.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're there like 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I've met some of those guys that say they drive like an hour. And I'm like, you drive an hour, You get here at 4, you set up. You're
I don't think they
holy moly.
sleep.
Yeah.
I don't know. So
My takeaway for the audience would be, what are the 3 businesses downtown that you would be disappointed if they left?
oh,
Make a point to visit those 3 businesses and support their organizations.
that was deep. I like that.
was
That's
deep,
good. Okay,
Alicia.
you heard it, folks. Go out there, visit 3 of them.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, you definitely can knock that out with restaurants easily.
Yes, I mean, but even then, if they left, because we've had restaurants close,
Yeah,
And
we've
so-
had quite a few businesses
Yeah.
close. And on our website, you can go and see there's a drop down for the businesses, and we have a map, and we've got the list in categories. So, everybody always thinks about the square, but like I said,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
almost 1,000 businesses
no
in that
idea.
30 block radius. So those businesses, when you started out asking me about the names of, those are business members that partner up with Main Street.
Gotcha.
So if you're a business downtown and you want to be a business member, it's a super small fee, and you're on our website, and we create a map, and that's what Alicia does, is market
Okay.
for all
Those
the businesses.
businesses.
Awesome. Okay. Very cool. Well, to find the website, information, and everything, social media, throw it all out there.
It is Main Street Murfreesboro.org, and all of our social media, our handles are Main Street Murfreesboro. So
All
we're
right.
easy to find.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll make sure we post those in the description as well. And for everybody watching, well, first off, again, thank you for coming. I'm sorry we took up so much of your time today, but I know you got work to do.
Hey,
But-
thank you.
Oh, yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you always come to our events and promote things. So
it's
thank
fun.
you for doing that.
Well, they are fun. We do enjoy doing them. So just food for thought, everybody. They are fun events. So thank you. But yeah, so if anybody watching or listening has any questions, put them in the comments. We'll do our best to get to them. Or you can go to mainstreetmurfreesboro.org.
Yep.
All right. And then you can contact y'all that way.
Yeah.
So, all right, cool. Well, I guess we'll cut it off there.
Okay,
All right.
thank you.
Thank y'all again.
Yeah.
Thank y'all. We'll see y'all on the next one.